Hello, how are you? We're going to do a customer service class and make some announcements. We're going to show you sort of the day in the life here at CEG. We have a whole bunch of students, and we're going to make some announcements first. So we're going to follow up with our customer service questions. When you need to get a job, things you have to say when you're excited and you're happy, and all these things. So we're going to get started.
They don't want to come over here? Sure.
I was going to say.
It only helps him.
Yeah. Day in the life. You guys, I mean, they're all going to be breaking in. They don't even know. They don't know.
We just don't know.
So you show up.
First day's tomorrow.
Huh?
First day's tomorrow.
Is it? Oh, fantastic. So, do you have a clip?
Clip?
Who has a clip? Who has a key clip? One of the things I was going to show them.
A what?
So, one of the things is you can't keep anything in your front pocket. And so one of the things I found very useful is getting one of those utility clips.
Oh, for the keys, yeah.
To attach either your keys or your card or something like this, depending what you have. Some casinos will allow you to have a very small little baggie attached, so you really have two options. You either keep the bag in your back pocket along with your, especially if you're a girl, right? If you're not carrying, you won't be able to carry your purse too many places, so it's best just to go with what you need. So you get one of those little utility bags that you can put in your back pocket attached to the clip so that you can take it out as you need to. I've always found that that's, real, because eventually, so some places will let you just hang your keys off of the clip. Other places will not, because it looks a little, if you work at the Wynn, I think they have different policy for that. You know what I mean? They live it. But I've found that just that clip, that's big. Because when you start your very first day, instead of you trying to run around and trying to find a locker, have you been, some places they'll onboard you with the locker before you start, but a lot of places now that's not a thing. You're just showing up, they're putting a coach there. Because of COVID, you can't make contact with as much stuff. You follow? So other places like Station will start you out with a locker, in some cases, some properties. Other properties, you don't get a locker the first day, so you have nowhere to put your stuff. And parking usually is not all that close, especially employee parking is usually the furthest parking away. So it's a good thing to have something so that you can be completely mobile. Otherwise, you're just going to have a bunch of crap in your back, or you're going to have to share a locker or put yourself in a place where you may not be, comfortable or feel safe about. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm going to go through, and I have Troy here because we both worked many years. We worked together at the Rio many years ago, and I'm going to miss a few things. So this is we did a video online, by the way. You can always look it up. It's on YouTube. It's your first day of work, essentially, and what things to expect on your first day. So I'll tell you, the first thing you need to do is show up early. Know where you're going to work, especially if you're new to the pit. So if you haven't gone through a process, so very few casinos will bring you in like a week early and introduce you, do this whole property introduction. Most places it's like, okay, you just show up here, this is when your shift starts, and you're like, okay, where do I go, what do I do? Show up early, park early, show up early, identify where the pit is. So you've either been told to meet at some designated place inside the pit or to meet somebody that is part of HR. So go to the pit, introduce yourself. It's okay to walk up to the pit and say, hello, I'm here to start my very first day of work. Especially if they haven't given you a place or assign you to some place specific. Downtown properties don't have a lot of back areas in many cases. Some of the smaller properties, Golden Gate to D, for example. So you literally will start out on the floor, and you'll have to go to the pit and just sort of ask somebody where you need to be. That's why it's important that you go with as little as you can. You know what I mean? Keep your purse in the car, that kind of thing. Just bring in your ID, money, some cash, obviously your keys. Try to bring only one key in. Try to be as mobile as possible, okay? Most likely you won't get a locker the first day. Now with you girls, maybe, because they're, you might have the clothing and things like this you have to be account for. But that's really key, is just to know where you're gonna park. I've actually had to start at a job where I didn't realize the parking was so flippin' far away. In fact, one job I started in New Orleans, you had to take a shuttle. So they told you to be at work, and then work's like, no. The shuttle location is 2 miles that way. And so, luckily I showed up an hour early, so I wasn't late, because I knew better. Because they don't tell you things that you don't know to ask or that they don't tell you when you come to the casino. Okay, so that's number one. What I would do too is scout. Okay, I think you guys know where to park, right? Is the parking garage for
So I asked a guy, because when I went for my fitting, I
Yeah.
parked just at the garage.
In the garage, yeah.
But I asked one of the executive guys, like,
Yeah.
the best. I just asked a bunch of questions.
Yep.
And he said that he parks at the plaza because it's
Oh,
closer to.
it's
So
closer?
that's what I'm gonna try to.
Okay. So Main Street, there's another parking lot. I don't know if it's going to be open to you guys, but like some of us that work downtown, you worked downtown a long time. Main Street Station to the right and back, they have this little, they have this whole open area that they use to shuttle people, but it's also public parking for people that frequent the casino. So that might be, it's fairly close to Circa as well. It's before you get to Circa on the right-hand side. You'll see kind of a thing, and there's even like a waiting area there.
I think in the recruitment room, they actually say on a board that if you work at Circa, you should be parking at Main Street.
And Main Street, yeah, I had heard that for some reason, so that's why I'm only bringing it up because there is an area, and just figure that out. You're just gonna have to, yeah,
I
okay,
can text my friend and find out.
And find
but
out.
The executive guy said he parks at Plaza.
yeah. But these are questions you want to know. Otherwise, where do you don't want your car towed or ticketed, this kind of thing.
He said he parks at Plaza because it's closer, and it's $40 a month.
Oh yeah, well that's
So you
not
can get
bad.
the employee monthly.
Downtown has the red garage, and that's like $60 a month if you work downtown. So it's
Most
not,
casinos have something called a roadmap. That is where you're assigned for that night. So it'll say Dave, Pit 2, BJ 13. I know Circa had the electronic one, so on your first night, ask someone else, where's our schedule at? And it's right out here in the hallway. If you happen to be on there. And just check and see if you have a home. If not, ask that same person, where do I go? Well,
right,
you come to this pit.
hold on. Parking. Then okay, yes. Roadmap. That's next number 2. Good, thank you, sir. So when you show up for work, find out who the pencil is. There's going to be someone on your shift. The pencil is the guy that does the scheduling for that day. Unless you work at a big ass casino, like an MGM, an Aria, this kind of thing, they have a scheduler. They'll have a team of people who literally just do nothing but schedule. And in every case, if there's a larger property, they'll have some type of app that you log into and you manage your schedule. Any part of your shift will be through the app. Because it's such a huge organization, there's so many moving parts that there's just no way to communicate. But at a place like Circa, downtown casinos, they're gonna have a pencil. And like you said, the pencil there'll be a roadmap for that week. Once your pencil knows, usually a shift boss, this type of thing, they'll have a roadmap. The roadmap will be posted somewhere. Every casino I know nowadays, they'll post, and you'll know your schedule a week or 2 weeks in advance. And you'll often know what your tables are, and that's what we're going to get to next. So what you're going to deal for the day of the week, that kind of thing. Some places, larger properties, you know in advance what pit you're going to be and what games you're going to be dealing, because that's how they sort everyone. That's why it's important you know multiple games, right? In a place like where you are, first of all, the dancing dealers, they're expected to know this game exactly. They know exactly what you know, right? And the pencil that day will rotate you around. So you might not know where you start. You just have to report to the pit, all right? And then, but you'll have a sheet. There'll be somewhere that tells you, where you're going to go. So you can look up and take. So where I've always worked,